Okay, my camera is on, microphone is on, and see what I'm recording. This is okay. All good. Let's start. Hi, and welcome to this new video. Today we will talk about Interstellar, one of the greatest Christopher Nolan's movie. Released in 2014 by Warner Bros., this film is usually qualified as a science fiction drama movie. But with the growing and the resurgence of dystopian genre during the last decade with films such as Divergent, The Hunger Games or The Maze Runner, we are more and more asking ourselves if Interstellar can be qualified as a dystopian film. And this is what we are going to check out today. First of all, we have to define what is dystopia. Dystopia was introduced as an antonym of utopia, which refers to an imagined place where everything about human life and humankind is perfect. Dystopia is exactly the opposite of this. Typically set in the future, they also depict a brutal and pessimistic society order that, while not totally possible in the present, is close enough to our own reality and makes us feel that this is familiar and therefore uncomfortable. Also, in this type of plots, human lives in a society of control, education is limited, propaganda is rampant, and resources are scarce. Environmental and social degradation, dehumanization, and loss of individual freedoms are other characteristics of the dystopian genre. Science fiction side of this is also highlighted. Technological enhancements are often shown as a tool of surveillance, but this brutal environment and bad condition are constantly a motivator and gives the hero something to fight for. If he or she not simply trying to survive in escape, then they are trying to dismantle the repressive power structure, working to break their system and free its prisoners and shift the threatened society. Dystopian worlds are typically visualized in one of two ways. They can be hyper-sanitized and immaculate like in THX 1138 at Gattaca, where the rigidity of social order is echoed in the odd direction. These environments are excessively sterile and minimalistic. Decoration, colors, and forms of creative expression are almost never seen. Instead, the aesthetic is clean, crisp, monochromatic, and very sleek. Or they can be shown as dark, gloomy, and chaotic, like the urban jungles of Blade Runner or Dark City. This future is overpopulated and dirty, unpredictable, and dangerous. And in this film, we will see that, as usual in a dystopian film, it's more likely the mixture of both descriptions. And the question that we have to answer now is, Interstellar, is it a dystopia? Let's resume the whole film. We find Joseph Cooper awakened by his daughter during a thrilling film. His daughter who, when waking him, asks him a strange question.
I thought you were the ghost.
So we have a 10-year-old girl who believes in ghosts, which is kind of a weird dialogue. Is this perhaps a coincidence for the future? Anyway, otherwise, about his daughter's question, Joseph Cooper has a great answer. The guy made jokes on the upcoming death of his daughter's grandfather.
Grandpa says you can get ghosts.
Yeah, maybe that's because Grandpa's a little too close to being one himself.
Congrats, Dad. They have a beautiful home and a vast culture. Everything to go for the better. If only Earth was not dying. Indeed, dust covers the surface of the planet and food runs out. Fortunately, it remains the essential food that goes with any meal. Corn.
Ho, ho, ho.
But unfortunately, even that resource is fading. So they have to find an innovative solution. Which one, would you tell me? It's obviously the time to go into space and colonize other planets, and it's precisely here that our Joseph Cooper intervenes. Questions with his daughter by strange signals in their home, they discover the secret hideout of NASA, which is preparing a trip to to explore other planets in order to migrate on one of them. And this trip is made possible because a wormhole has magically appeared not far from the Earth. Of course, it takes 2 years of travel, but this is very practical. And on top of that, as if by chance, the wormhole leads to potentially habitable worlds. NASA has already sent some of their men there, and now they want to send a new expedition. They just need a pilot. And coincidentally, Joseph Cooper is a former NASA pilot. These coincidences are so crazy. Cooper is then solicited by the director of the NASA, who is none other than Alfred, Batman's butler. He is also known in this film as Professor Brandt. However, the slight downside is that this mission can last for years and that, inevitably, is complicated for Joseph to abandon his daughter. It's the relationship with his daughter that is the most important, but she is extremely angry with him, which makes him live with a heavy heart full of remorses, like we can see on his face. Like a proud American patriot, Cooper decided to lead the expedition. That's how an incredible space odyssey began to push back the limits of the human knowledge and lifestyle. We can see this as an incredible odyssey or an episode of C'est pas sorcier, because when I see moments like that,
the illustrations, I'll show you how it works. So they say you want to go from here to there, but it's too far, right? Mm-hmm. So a wormhole bends space like this, so you can take a shortcut through a higher dimension.
I feel more like I see Jamie explaining tricks to me than a dialogue between an engineer and an eminent scientist. Especially since if you change the music a little, it immediately becomes very confusing. In short, the trip is in progress, and this is not going to be easy, especially because of relativity of time and of gravity. Because throughout the film, it didn't stop talking about gravity.
It's gravity. Suddenly we knew that harnessing gravity...
Problem is gravity.
Gravity's punishing.
Is gravity.
Our friends arrive near the first planet, Dr. Miller's planet. And it turns out that their plane is blown, because it's not habitable and it's covered with water. This first failure unfortunately made them waste of time because there was a gap between time on the aqueous planet and our time. When our companions come back 23 years later, after having actually spent only 1 hour on Dr. Miller's planet, it is the anguish for Cooper because of his children's messages that they sent him. At least that of this son, because his daughter is still mad at him. We see the emotion of Cooper, seeing all the years he missed, which is horrible for him and affects us a lot. Among the messages, he will receive only one from his daughter, who is now in her 30s and who also participates in finding a solution so as to save humanity on Earth. But since her part is limited to staying in front of a whiteboard to look for equations and searching things in her room, we are not going to talk about it very much because it's not very interesting. Let's go back to the expedition led by our astronauts. In addition to the waste of time and the loss of one of their colleagues on the planet, it cost them a lot of fuel. And they have only enough resources to make a single trip on only one of the remaining planets if they hope to return. So, the choice is either the planet of Dr. Mann or the planet of Dr. Edmund, who obviously has better results. They say it's themselves.
Yeah, Edmund's letter is better.
And logically, they are going to choose Dr. Mann's. In reality, Edmund had against him the fact that Anatawe was in love with him, so she was not objective in her analysis for the choice of the planet. Once there, they woke Dr. Mann from his hypersleep and discovers that in reality, it's Matt Damon. In any case, Matt Damon is happy to find companions and proudly announce that his planet is ideal to host all humanity and make the situation evolve. But in reality, he is absolutely lying. On the pretext that Mr. could no longer stand loneliness, he sent false statement to attract the team, then tried to kill Cooper, blew up his base and fled to the other planets. Which means that Dr. Mann brought people to his planet in order to escape loneliness and escape to another planet alone? Of course, it made total sense. Fortunately, Anataway and Cooper chase him and it goes boom, so Cooper comes to sacrifice himself, and as a result of this act of bravery, we found ourselves in a library inside of a black hole. Which is not the wisest place if you want to welcome the entire Earth. But it's not really a library. In reality, it's an arranged space where you can see the room of the hero's daughter throughout her library. A certain representation of a 5 dimension giving life to time, and this over different periods of her life. And through this system, Cooper can communicate with his daughter in the past so that in the present she can in turn save the world. So the scene at the beginning where the girl tells her father that he is a ghost is really funny because in reality he is the ghost. And thanks to all this, the film can finally get rid of its complex plot. The black hole closes and the film is finished. In reality, the film is not really finished because Cooper is being saved from space by the rest of humanity traveling from Cooper's station. The station is actually a huge spaceship containing all the secret complex of NASA controlled by a modified center of gravity whose calculation was made by our dear Professor Brent, who died more than 50 years ago. And there are many other theories about the end of this film because lots of fans dismiss the ending of the movie, as many people think that Cooper is actually dead and that what we see at the end are reminiscences of his mind. In reality, the conclusion of this film is unfinished and is thought-provoking for lots of fans. A dark, grimy, gloomy and chaotic atmosphere with a dirty world and pessimistic future where resources are scarce, mental and social degradation with some science fiction thanks to the technological enhancements. These are all characteristics that shows that this movie is a dystopian movie. We could say that people love dystopian movies so much because it's a morbid fascination at the potential for our world to change in so many terrible ways. People of the present have to use dystopian movies in order to prepare themselves for the future and not to be lured by a leader who will control them and delete individual liberty. Or maybe it's relieved that things aren't quite so bad for us just yet. And it's already the end of the video. Thanks for staying till the end here. I hope you liked this video. Let me know in the comments if you agree or not with my analysis, if you finally think that Interstellar can be qualified as a dystopian movie or not, and if I have things to change, to upgrade, if my summary of the film was good. Let me know all that in the comments, and I hope you have a great day. Bye! Oh, wait a second, the video is not totally finished. I made a blooper, so if you want to laugh a little bit more to finish this video, let's see it. His daughter who went out when waking him. Yes, of course, I'm a genius with superpowers who can open wormholes as many times as I want. Thanks for watching. If you're still here, thanks for watching. 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 The aesthetic. Ah!